We have the chilling story of a Minot man charged with holding a woman against her will for days at a Fargo motel while assaulting and raping her. According to court documents, Donnie Eugene Lee Jr. is facing numerous felony charges after police responded to the Baymont Inn and Suites in Fargo for a report of a domestic assault at 1:03 a.m. on Saturday. Officers knocked on the motel door. The female victim opened it and ran from the room. Donnie Lee was found on the bed nude and passed out with a knife next to him. Police confiscated the knife, woke him up, and got him dressed. Lee wound up fleeing on foot and fighting with police in the parking lot before being arrested. The female victim was found in the motel sitting on the floor, knees hugged to her chest with her arms in a self-protective position, telling police she'd been forced to stay in the room against her will, and she was the victim of continuous physical assaults by Lee. She showed police numerous bruises covering her arms, wrists, chest, neck, and around her face, several of which were consistent with human fingerprints. The victim said she had been in a previous relationship with him, but had been trying to get away. Then, police received her chilling statement, which reads in part. She said that during the past 2 days, appearing that to be December 19th through the early morning hours of the 21st, she'd been in a continuous series of assaults by Lee. She related that Lee, without warning, had punched her around the body, threw her on the bed and floor and into a luggage rack in the room, and routinely threatened to kill her, placing her in fear for her life. She stated that Lee would assault her and she would occasionally cry out or scream, hoping another guest would hear and call police. She stated multiple times in disbelief while recounting the details of the assault, "I can't believe no one called the cops. I was screaming," she said. Lee reportedly responded to her attempts for help by grasping her throat and strangling her, to which she confirmed had impeded her ability to breathe. She stated Lee's threats to kill her, combined with the extreme physical violence, put her in such fear for her life that she was afraid to run, though she displayed for me in the hotel room a small backpack she had gathered in preparation to flee, which contained her legal documents, some women's battery shelters, and her medications. She recounted one instance in which she attempted to call out to a woman walking her dog. Lee was by the door and engaged the female in conversation, complimenting her dog, which she believed was an effort to charm and distract the woman. She stated out of desperation that she called out to the woman who did not hear her. Lee reacted by picking her up, throwing her on the bed, grabbed a pillow, and said, "Keep making a sound out of your mouth, you dirty whore. Do you want to effing die? Do you want me to effing kill you?" She said she was in such fear that Lee would kill her in this moment that she begged Lee by pleading for my kids that they need a mom. She stated that she attempted to minimize 2 days of Lee's nonstop assaults by taking her NyQuil as much as she could to sleep, both for the pain she felt throughout her body and so Lee would not have a reason to hurt me. She stated at one point, Lee grabbed her by the crotch and lifted her in this manner, causing what she felt may be bruising and vaginal pain for the following day as a result when she urinated. She said that earlier in the day she realized that the only way to get assistance and escape Lee was to facilitate him becoming drunk. She stated she used her desire for alcohol as a guise, so Lee would allow her out of the room in order for the two to go to the liquor store. She stated Lee kept trying to give her shots, which she dumped out. She stated Lee then demanded sexual intercourse from her. She stated that she felt both intimidated and compelled due to Lee's violence in fear that she would be seriously injured or killed if she did not submit. She indicated that she did have vaginal intercourse with Lee, who did not use a condom and reportedly ejaculated. She confirmed that she was presently wearing the clothing she had put on immediately following the assault. Gibson had put on warming Under Armour gear, which she selected to stay warm if she found an opportunity to flee arose. She stated following the sexual intercourse, Lee compelled Gibson to submit to. Lee was passed out a short time later. While the two lay in bed She reported Lee had mused how he wasn't going back to prison and that he was going to end it. She was fearful this meant that he was finally going to kill her. Lee then began toying with a switchblade knife she said Lee always carried and that she was constantly in fear of. She stated upon seeing the knife, she had an instinct reaction and grabbed it from Lee. She stated she didn't know why she grabbed it and maybe she should have killed Lee, but she repeated that she doesn't want to hurt people. She returned the knife to Lee, who demanded it back. Lee was also alleged to have stated before he fell asleep he was going to murder her. This is when she knew, I have to get out of here. She had hidden one of several phones she'd kept under her dog's bed, where she believed Lee would not look, as Lee had taken her phone previously during the ordeal. She stated that she sent her location to her son, who would know what to do. It was by these means officers were summoned to the scene. Donnie Eugene Lee Jr. has been charged with Class AA gross sexual imposition, a Class AA felony that carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. He's also facing 4 other felony charges, including felonious restraint, domestic violence, terrorizing domestic violence, and preventing arrest. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNews.TV.